George Weems Memorial Hospital Board of Directors meeting. Our vision is providing quality care close to home. July 23rd, 2026. Please note this meeting will be video and or audio recorded. Let's see, we do have a quorum, and all but one here. Okay, call to order. We have a quorum. Next item is public comment. Do we have any public comment? No public comment. We have the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? No. Mr. Walker has got the employee of the month.
Yes, let me do our employee of the month. Logan Anderson, can you come to the podium? Really?
It's always you, Michael.
No. Really?
Always you.
Stone
in my
valid.
book.
No. At the next meeting, Mike Marone may be our customary employee of the month because he really lay all this out for us on a consistent basis. But thank you, Michael.
We
Appreciate
actually
it.
need to consider him, don't we?
Yeah. Let me just read this. Logan was nominated. He works in our finance department. He's a payroll specialist. It says, to be honest, the space given is not enough to write everything I recognize about Logan. He's a go-getter, passionate, most of all, well-rounded individual whose talents are appreciated. He takes a new task with a smile and a positive outlook, and we should be very grateful to have him as part of our Weems family. And I'm going to say this, Logan is very detailed, very customer service friendly. And here's a story about Logan. Around, at the end of December, right before the new year, a visitor came in the clinic and wanted to talk with, not the clinic, the ED, and wanted to speak with the CEO on maybe a Sunday night and a Saturday evening, one of those Saturday evenings. And they talked to Logan, and Logan said, well, Mr. Walker is not here, but I'll give you his number, and you can call him, he'll call you back. And the individual called me back, and New Year's Eve, I was at the office. I just happened to check my voice messages about 8 o'clock that night. And I called the individual who called me, who had just moved to Franklin County, who lived out of town. And he said, David, usually when they say David, I'm like, okay, it must be a complaint. And he said, I want to give Weems some money. And so this individual said that when he met Logan, Logan was so nice to him, that he made him really he already had in his mind that he wanted to donate to the hospital. But he said, just by meeting Logan, he said, David, you need to give this guy a raise. He said he was just so polite, customer service friendly. And that's when Logan was working in the ED at that time. And the individual made a donation to the hospital up to $24,000, and we began to do certain things for that. And so that's the story about Logan. We moved into another position. He's doing a great job. This is his first nomination, but Logan, we greatly appreciate you, all that you do, and thank you for being a part of our Weems family.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Logan.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Logan, your chance to say something.
Oh, I don't know what to say. I really appreciate everything. I enjoy the work that I do. I like working at the hospital. Everybody's really nice. It's a good place to work. And I call it, I got the new position, I call it my big boy job. Because, before it seems like, you just kind of have a job, but this seems like a career, and it's nice. It's nice to feel like that, and it's nice to, see when you're appreciated. It's just very nice. I appreciate everybody and what you do. So,
Thank you so much.
I'll say that Logan is the type of individual, truly, from day one, you recognize people like him. I mean, really, when he was working in admissions, I recognized, and Mr. Walker and I were like, he's a good employee. We got to keep him. We got to promote him. He's just that kind of person. He carries himself well. He speaks to everyone. He's just that kind of person you want in your organization. He truly is.
Logan, as
Logan.
you're well aware, we have, not saying we didn't have good customer service in the past. We're striving to have excellent customer service. I don't know if you ever get there, but you're an example of what customer service is all about.
thank you.
And we do appreciate it, and I appreciate it on the board and as a patient sometime. So it makes me feel good to know we've got folks like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Logan.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And I believe we want to get a picture, right?
Yeah, you want to get a picture of Logan?
Oh,
I kind of shocked him. Let's get a picture of him. So
I don't know if I should cross.
Let's go, let's come on down. Let's come on down.
We have folks that can make it, I just want to make sure they can make it here,
Yeah, let's do this.
but some of them cannot make it.
Where would you like me, sir?
I don't have a certificate, but.
Oh, I didn't think about it, I'm sorry. It's still at home.
You're welcome. That's John, that's Ms. Coleman here. Are we even?
No, I'm short because you're in the high spot.
Do I need to scooch down?
You know he's gonna argue about everything. John, I didn't know you direct photos, you know?
We're gonna do a couple. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody.
See, you never put the tall guy in their business.
Thank you.
I didn't know you were so photogenic, John.
Smoke machine, yeah, no, not in a good way. Got a smoke machine in here.
Oh, that's a good way to get the meeting started right there, y'all. A real good way to get the meeting started. Okay. The next item on the agenda, oh wait, let me turn this down, will be a marketing update from Miss Christy Terry.
Hey, good morning. Good
morning.
It's great to see you all again. I have sent over some marketing reports over the last couple of months, so I didn't want to go back over everything that we've done this year, but I did want to talk about the last 30 days and then and just kind of the strategy behind some of the things that we're doing. So a couple of the initiatives that we've done this year that's new, started in February, was paid social media ads. That's something that we had just been doing organic posts, and so we decided to put some money towards focusing on one service of the hospital each month, and that it would correspond with the newspaper ads that run, and then with the paid social things that are targeted to Franklin County zip codes and the surrounding areas. And so each month we've had a target, and for June it was did you know, and then services that are provided here. And so we get the results in 3-month increments, and so last month I had through June, but I don't have those numbers yet. But just to make you aware that there is concerted effort to focus on getting the word out about the services. When we started this marketing effort 3 years ago, that was one of the biggest things that we heard, was we need to build swing bed and we need to let people know the services that are available here. And so that's what we've really been focused on, is getting that collateral back up, so that there are rack cards, panel cards that can be distributed to providers and that sort of thing, and then that are available at the hospital, and for colleagues to use as they promote the services. Looking ahead on that part, July is local care during a busy summer. September is emergency department. November, care for seniors. I mean, you can see the outline there of what we're looking at through the end of the year. Also, the ongoing traditional media that we have is the Apalachicola Times. We do 2 quarter-page ads in that every month, and so we have that corresponding with the social. Also on Oyster Radio, we just recently refreshed those spots, so that is those are in progress. And then the radio, the Adams Radio Group, which is out of Tallahassee, and mostly on those it is Did You Know, and also heat and health tips from Weems Memorial. One of the biggest things that we did in June was just the earned media on that hospice event. Got really good engagement on that. We did a reel, we did a couple of posts and coordinated with Colleen on those, and got some really good engagement, great numbers, great responses from people, and of course that did result in an article in the newspaper. Things that we have ongoing are the website redesign. We had to put that on pause because we didn't have a team member that handles the digital side. But those positions have now been filled, and so we're getting back to that. Where we were when we paused was that we had 2 layouts that we had narrowed it down to, and so now we just need to go ahead and finalize that, and then it will start a migration from the current site to the new site. And what we'll do is just page by page, we'll go through and adjust the content, look at what we want to promote, what we want to say, and go ahead and build it, and then it will go live. It will just transfer over. So that is a long process, as you can imagine, but it is in process. E-newsletter, that is something as well that we have sent out a couple of issues, but plan to do another one. We just need to put that content together and get it distributed. We did get some feedback that oftentimes guests and visitors may not know where to go in case of an emergency. And that it was popping up in some of the visitor groups on social media. And so we talked about that and looked at opportunities for billboards between the island and the hospital. And so we have secured a billboard that is, I just went and looked at it this morning to make sure. But it is right off the bridge, coming across, and then before you head into Apalachicola, and it just says emergency care in Apalachicola, and has the hospital and then directions that it is so far on 98 and then take a right on 12th Street so that they can get there. And oftentimes we're hearing that people continue on 98, and so what we're trying to say is make the turn. And so that is one thing that that should go up actually in the next couple of weeks. And then just some other things as far as social media over the last month. We did 14 posts, Facebook posts, 9 Instagram posts, had 34,000 Facebook views. That's something that continues each month. I mean, it depends on how much we post, but 14 posts actually is kind of a lot because you usually only do like 2 or 3 a week, and so in a month. And so we are continuing that. Also, just wanted to let you know that up until this point, it's just been me, shared between the 3 facilities that we work with. But we are getting an additional team member starting in August. So there will be somebody else that is coming to join me on this team. So I'll still be your main contact, but I'll be directing her to do some supporting me. And so we're excited about that. It really shows that that we've got a lot of work to do. It's really that it is more of a job than just for one person, and that's a good thing because I think we are making progress. I listen to the meetings, and it sounds like the numbers are up, and so I hope that I think that this is an example or that some of the efforts that we're doing are working and that more people know about the services that are offered. One thing I did want to mention is these 2 things. I think that Crystal may have passed them around, but another goal was to enhance patient experience. And so what we did is a discharge folder. This is one thing. This is something that other facilities do, and I think it really does elevate the experience. But when they are discharged, they get all of their paperwork in this folder.
Yeah, this is awesome.
In this folder. And so they are able to take this to whoever they were referred to the next place they go. So not only is it a tool for the patient as they're leaving, but also it is a better representation of Weems whenever they get wherever they're going. So when they open this at the next office, it looks legit, like they came from, you know, a reputable place if they are not familiar before. So we're happy about that. This is a patient and family guide. This is based on the TMH guide that they get, of course, significantly boiled down to the pieces that matter to people who are staying in our hospital. But this is what they would get as they are admitted to an inpatient. And so it tells how to use the telephone, how to call your nurse. It introduces Mr. Walker and Courtney so that they know who their point people are. It just kind of, it has some of the local photography that we just did earlier this year. We brought a photographer over to do original new photos that we can highlight on the website, and then stuff like this so that you're not just using stock photos. So we have Miss Donna in here and some others. But it just kind of walks through Wi-Fi, cell phones, TV, those kind of things. But it helps them kind of feel more secure when they get there and reduce the pressure on the colleagues that may not be able to get in there as soon as possible. This kind of lays some groundwork.
And also, I just want to add what Krista's up there. You know, we'll have her come quarterly to give the board an update, you know, on a quarterly basis, you know, to the board. Because sometimes she's behind the scenes doing a whole lot of stuff. But, you know, we'll have her going forward, come on a quarterly basis, you know, and then she can give the board an update of what's happening, what we're doing. One of the, you know, billboards, you know, we used to do billboards a while ago, but we kind of stopped. But one of the things that we're looking at, you know, the major billboard that we're doing, I think this is the one, this is the highest traffic billboard in the county, you know, and we really want to highlight our emergency room care there. So that'll be coming up pretty soon. And so our marketing efforts really have improved. You know, we got a lot of work to do. We're not where we want to be. Of course, Colleen has been jumping in there too, with a lot of stuff as well. And so, you know, we're really excited about what we're doing here in marketing, but I just want to let you know that on a quarterly basis, she'll be here. And then you all can ask us some questions.
Christy, I have a question for you. I know somebody brought it up in the past. We talked about refrigerator magnets for some of the rental units out on SGI. I know that, you know, talking about not knowing where to go or what to do, I think some of those rentals should have some kind of a introduction to Weems and the usage. If we could get some of those made up with some of my real estate connections, I think I can get them distributed.
Sure.
So if you want to try and make up something that looks good, that we can put up there, has our phone numbers, our contacts, I don't know, anything, you know, that would QR code, whatever we need to put in their hands so that they can get the emergency response they need or drive somebody over.
Right. We did some of those a couple of years ago. I think we do need to follow up. I doubt that any of the ones that we did are still where we left them, you know. But one interesting thing, just how times change, is that those magnets, a lot of them wouldn't stick on the stainless appliances. And so I never thought of that, you know. But they do, of course, some.
We have a stainless refrigerator, but we can stick it on the side.
Yeah, yeah. But we do have some great postcards that that could be distributed very easily.
Beach balls.
Yeah.
Put it on a beach ball.
Yeah, something
Kid just
there
plays
that
with
is
his
in
phone.
Put it on a beach
the
ball.
actual place. That says, like the ones that we had somebody with a cast on the beach, and it said accidents.
Yeah.
Don't take a vacation or something like that, and had information about the hospital. But I think that is absolutely an opportunity, especially when there is just this ever-changing population that's coming in. I also think that I've really been thinking about what we could do, and Kristen, you might be a good soundboard for this, but to involve the businesses with just something that's maybe Maybe it's in the bathroom. Maybe it's just at the, something that just says, there's a hospital here.
I'm not going into all the bathrooms with a marker. I'm not doing it.
I mean, we'll keep one in our pocket just in case that's an opportunity. But if that's, I think we need to go where the visitors are going. And if we're trying to capture them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think that there's some opportunity there. We need to, I think it could be low cost, high impact that we could do there.
Yeah, so let's just follow up on that.
Sure.
See what we can
Sure.
do.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Question, 2 questions.
Mhm.
Wait a minute.
3 questions.
Well, that must be reminding me of my appointment next week, that's from Weems Hospital. Okay, first question, the little pamphlet here?
Yes.
That's real good.
Yeah.
First thing that stood out to me when I looked at it was 2 people I know, Mr. Walker and Courtney, there. Now, the other folks in here, are they our staff, actually? They
Some
are,
of them
right?
are. Some of them are.
Good,
Oh,
good, good.
those
good.
are that you are pointing out there, yes.
Okay, another thing that I think 3 things then. Okay, we are approved by ACA, right? What's ACA stand for anyway?
Agency for Healthcare Administration.
Huh?
Agency for Healthcare Administration.
Okay, well, I think we need to mention that. We're inspected in some way and approved. If you're gonna have a hospital, you gotta be under ACA, but, okay, let's let it be known, or whatever, And if we had any awards of patient care or anything, that needs to be known.
Sure.
Let's highlight. And one more thing that I don't think we stress enough, and I don't know how we do it. You go to our emergency room, you're gonna be seen by a doctor.
Doctor, right.
And I guess they are certified
Well, Christy-
emergency room.
They're physicians. Christy did the Do You Know platform that we do. Say, do you know that Weems is covered by 24/7 emergency room physicians?
We
Physicians.
started, and we did an ad last month. I hear you on that, and I know that that's something that it's stuck in your craw for years, is that is just not the proper perception. On all the ads that we do now, where it lists, that we have imaging, that we have lab, that sort of thing, we now have one that says 24/7 physician coverage.
Okay, good.
And
good,
so,
good.
It just to reinforce that
Keep-
there is a
keep
doctor
driving,
there.
keep driving.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's something that was actually in response to some of the things that you
Yeah,
said, that we just need to
we
keep.
spend a lot of money on it. It's an excellent
and
service.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
very
we need
important. And Duff, you mentioned about the awards. I wasn't thinking about this, but even with the patient stuff that we give to the patients, we could put the different awards that we've gotten
Sure.
there. And so when patients come in, they'll say, okay, Weems they were a 2023 Alliant Quality Hospital. So we can put those things on there,
I'm just saying something.
which is a good idea because
Something
it's going to the patient, yeah, which is a good idea.
to
Bolster confidence.
yeah.
Sure. We need to celebrate our
Yeah.
wins, for sure.
Yeah, like the employee satisfaction, we had a top score, the score is a 5, and we had a 4.4 nationally, so we were like a top score in the
Okay.
nation for employee engagement. So I guess those kind of things that we can begin to highlight, and we can come back to highlight those things, so that's very important. Thank you for reminding us of that.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
Yes,
Yes.
I have one.
Oh, gosh.
What do we have on 98?
That was a
What do we
true
have on
statement.
98 that directs people to the hospital?
That's
We're going to have a billboard in
That's what
about
she
2
talked
weeks.
about.
Where is it going to be located?
It is currently, if you make that trek now, it is East Point Church of Christ is that.
That's over there.
It's when you come off the bridge and turn, it's like a half mile right there, and it's illuminated.
What do we have, because I can remember my first experience of coming to a first board meeting, I didn't know where the hospital was.
Sure.
I agree.
And
I don't know what we
cannot-
do about that.
Is there any type of approved flashing sign or something that can be put on 98 that directs people to the hospital? Do we have that?
I don't know if it's flashing. Craig can come up for that question. Craig, come up for that. Yeah, I don't know if in the city we can put a flashing sign in the city.
Well,
What would
if
be,
it's emergency, please, I mean, what-
We got a little thing about that big.
we could, get away with it if it's emergency. So Craig, that's
Yeah.
something,
That's gonna be a DOT question, but I doubt you're gonna be able to put a flashing sign out there. Used to be, years ago, there was a hospital sign in downtown directing you to the hospital. When DOT came in there and redid it, they took those poles down, and I've not gotten a response back out of them yet. But that's one of my questions that I'm gonna talk with Commissioner Crooms about, and some other projects that I've got for the hospital. The sign that we have out there that says emergency entrance, I'm talking to a sign company out of Tallahassee about redoing that. So as soon as I get all that put together, then I'll let y'all know about it. But it can be like, hopefully like the Department of Health, you can program it to flash different scenarios, like no waiting in the ER or something, but it get it noticed.
Yeah, so
that
we're
there.
saying right on 98, what we probably can do is look at, there's a hospital sign there. Maybe we need to see if we can get DOT to move that sign so people can see it, because right now you really can't see it until you're up on it.
Exactly, and then
just
if,
the
with
palm
this,
trees there.
right, and then when I was here Friday, I drove it, and to see like what would a guest, if they see the billboard and they're like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna go there. And so they drive, and the billboard says, I think 7.5 miles on 98, and then right on 12th Street. And so I did that. And then when I got there, I mean, of course GPS will tell them, but if it's dark and you're looking in an emergency situation, you could miss it. So I do think there's an opportunity for additional signage, at least there, that says turn here, emergency this way, hospital, or at the, right. But
So-
just because in that situation, you may not, it needs.
So
to
Craig,
be
since
done.
that's a state road, we need to talk to the state
DOT.
Department of,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and then within the city, you have a sign ordinance about size.
Right.
That you can put up.
well, you know, the state can put up 300 parking signs, but they can't put up one for the,
Exactly.
There are being exceptions for the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Do you know who you deal with at DOT?
I haven't talked to anybody directly.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, the first place you have to start is over in Chipley. Okay?
okay.
Go to Chipley first. And then at the same time, brief your state representative on what you're trying to do so that they can apply pressure back down in that direction to try to get this thing resolved. But I'll never forget the first time I came over here to go to the hospital, I couldn't find you. I wound up on a back street back in there. So that's my 2 cents.
Yep.
I think too, if we're trying to approach some of these people, lay out the full plan we have, what we want to do. I think that's a good approach right there, is what we want to do. I don't know why we couldn't put a sign right there where the library's at, of something with an arrow.
I think I think that is the place that needs the most.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could, I'm
Because
saying, we
it's
could put a
open. You can see
sign,
it. There's no trees.
if we can get like the regular hospital sign, because they got them along, we can get that the regular hospital sign probably moved to the corner, so when you're riding on 98, you make, and it has an arrow there.
Or an additional H.
Yeah, because it's one there, so what we'll do, we'll talk with the city manager, then we'll reach out to
Yeah.
DOT
Yeah,
as well,
I'll get in
because
touch
the
with
city
you.
has different ordinances, but if you're a healthcare entity, we can always say it's emergency, and we should be able to get that wave, that's what we did with the health department sign. So we'll check with
I'll
DOT.
get in touch with Chipley and then go from there.
Yeah, okay.
And show from them.
And another point, you brought up GPS. I heard the other day, or I read it, that probably 60% of the cars on the road are over 10 years old. Your GPS has to be upgraded via whatever service you've got.
Sure.
And a lot of that's not taking place because of, one, the educational level on how to do it. Two, there's a charge if you go to the dealer. Okay. And three, all the GM products have been discontinued, and you have to actually go get a Sync 3 upgrade to get it fixed. So a lot of people can't use
Sure,
GPS.
that's where the signage is, that's
Unless they know
even
how
more
to use it
important.
on their phone.
Sure.
And Google.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. People are using the GPS on their phones, and that phone is updated on a regular basis. I don't know too many people that don't have a smartphone by this point.
Well, unless you get a,
Maybe that ought to be a reminder, follow it on your phone.
oh, you can get a Tesla and put it on there. You'll be all
That's
right.
just some idea.
You got one for sale?
Yeah, I'm trying to sell mine.
To George, to my
I
son?
think you can Bluetooth it
He'll like it.
to your phone.
All right, sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah,
Put that flip phone away, wait.
no problem.
Put that flip phone away.
Yeah, right, please.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Christie.
Now, we need those folders back. Will we, help you?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't write on them, because we need them back.
I already did, I put my name.
Jitterbugs.
Okay, you'll be a patient.
We'll admit you, yeah.
Big buttons, big buttons.
5 buttons on them.
Because they're
Definitely one of those.
Yeah, they are.
Because they're gonna start writing on them.
I got,
Yep, she'll get them. I don't want y'all to write on those. Thank you,
Those are
Chrissy.
awesome, those discharge folders.
Hang on
That's
just a minute.
awesome.
I'm just trying something here.
I like the folders.
I do too.
Okay, good. I Googled up emergency room close to me, and here we are. It was good. Just curious what it would do.
What is that?
Weems Memorial Hospital.
Give you directions.
Yeah, I've got directions on there. Okay. The next is clinical service report. Courtney Alford.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Just a few updates. I wanted to start by saying we're continuing to work on our efforts with the Sheriff's Department. They've hired that new RN, and so she and I have met a couple times, and she's going to start meeting with us on the sexual assault with Doris and Emily with the refuge house, so hopefully that'll help us get a little further. She even mentioned that the sheriffs may join in on our next meeting that we have, so.
She's SANE certified?
She's not, but in our meeting
Uh-huh.
we just had, because we have a list of people we're waiting on the education from the
Yeah.
refuge house, she said that she would possibly be interested in getting that way as well, because we have a list of people who are providers in our area who are willing to be certified. We're waiting on the education for the refuge house and have been for some time, so.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if we
Yeah.
could get her SANE certified.
Yes, yes. So we're working through that program. We'll continue to update you. We have to get the sheriff's department involved, so it's good that they've hired an RN there.
Yeah.
So as a point person, she and I have been communicating a lot, so
Awesome.
we'll continue to update you there. Tallahassee is responsible for Franklin County, and it stops at the Franklin County. You don't have to. The hospital's required to provide the services for sexual assault, so we just have to have that service.
And maybe I'll phrase it differently. Where do you take pots and pans, housewares, and those type of donations?
Oh, I don't know anything about that. That's got nothing to do with my healthcare stuff, but there is a refuge house in Tallahassee. I mean, the office is there who helps us promote the sexual assault program.
Yeah, but if you got pots and pans you want to donate, we have senior centers here, and we got a senior center in Caribbean. We got senior.
Are you trying to have a yard sale?
ECCC,
ECCC in Apalachicola, you got some, you got ECCC, which is a
Val
senior.
Webb's also.
Valerie Webb, which is a senior care facility here in Apalachicola.
You got Pennyworth over there
Pennyworth.
on 98?
Yeah, Caribbean has a senior center there, and you can donate pots and pans there.
I mean, I keep taking them up to Goodwill. I don't need to do that.
No, you can donate them too. Bring them to me. I'll get them out. Just give them, bring them.
Do you go through them
Right.
first?
Yeah, I'm gonna look through them.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure I'm giving somebody something right.
just don't be donating no junk, Barry.
All right, let's move on.
Continuing.
Go ahead.
Pots and pans.
Down the rabbit hole now, man.
Make sure you mention the East Point, that's the station for sexual assault.
Oh, yes. Well, we're building that.
We'll be building that. Just tell me.
Yeah, so the plan for the sexual assault exams to be, to take place would be in East Point, so it's center of the county. Right now, we have Gulf Coast Children's Advocacy out of Panama City that actually is doing them for us until this program gets completely built, which we're just waiting on the refuge house and the education. But we have a meeting, Doris and Kaylee and Emily from Refuge House, and I have a meeting in the next 2 weeks, so update you again next board meeting, hopefully.
I'm sorry, Courtney, I must admit, who's doing the rape kit assessment or the?
So the way it works is our hospital has to do them, or we have to provide a service that does them. Refuge House covers through Franklin County line. So Refuge House out of Tallahassee is responsible, truly
They would have to send
responsible.
somebody out here
Well, that's why we're trying to get people in our county.
to be
To
certified?
be certified.
Right.
So myself, Doris, possibly Kaylee, and Doris came up with a list of multiple nurses, RNs, or nurse practitioners.
Yeah.
So if we get that certification, we have it right here. It's a quicker response. So we're building that whole program. We're just waiting on the education piece.
Yeah, I think the longer you make somebody wait
Yeah, sure.
for something to happen, they may change their mind, they may leave, they may,
Right, we need to just be able
We need
to
to
say,
do it quick.
meet me at this secure location. We're
right.
doing the exam. We'll meet you there.
Exactly.
Yeah, make it seamless, yeah.
Yes, so that's the plan, and that
Good.
location has been secured to be an East Point location, so it's center of the county, so it'll be easier, and it is a discrete location, because I don't want them necessarily coming in the ED. I mean, that's not a private
No, you're in a private,
situation for
absolutely,
them. So I'll continue to update you on that. I know we've talked about outpatient therapy, physical therapy a lot. We did have a candidate submit an application who has a place here and is currently working in Georgia. But she's actually a physical therapist and an occupational therapist. So I met with her, and she doesn't have her Florida license yet, but after we met, she said she's going to start working on that. And then she and Mr. Walker and Jeff and I have a meeting scheduled for September to see how we can kind of grow that. She works at a rural hospital and does some swing bed, but they do pediatrics, they do all kinds of stuff in Georgia, a bigger facility. But we feel that would be a great opportunity for either her to relieve some of the duties that Jeff's doing, our current therapist, or for her to, so Jeff could do the outpatient, or for her to take over the outpatient. So just starting that conversation, and she's working on a Florida license, but we'll update you again after our September meeting there.
Great.
I did hire, I'm not sure if I told y'all this or not, some CNAs. We haven't had CNAs at Weems in probably
goodness, what a
10
treat.
years since or more than 10, when I worked night shift, a long time ago. But because of the lack of staffing and need for help and extra hands, I've hired some CNAs. So we've got 3, I just did PRN for now, because you never know about the census.
Right.
So we've got PRN, CNAs, and they're just working 7 to 3 or 3 to 11, because generally after 11, we're okay, even if we only have one nurse, it just depends.
Courtney,
But
can you just for a layman, CNA?
certified nurse assistant. So this person does vital signs, this person can bathe the patients, deliver meal trays, help the patients ambulate to the restroom, all those tasks that can be very, very time consuming for a nurse who needs to be passing meds, document, and, doing assessments, things like that. So it's been great for the nurses, and we've got we've got 3 local, 2 of the girls are locally from here, one of them lives here now. They've all been great, and they're young and eager, so I'm thankful to have them. So, yeah, it's been a blessing, and so I'm thankful for that. Mr. Walker will probably mention, or you mentioned our RAD group transition?
Yeah, that's the radiology group, we'll be transitioning August 1st with a new group that we approved, so we're looking forward to that transition.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. We met with them yesterday, and we're moving forward and excited about that. I think that's going to be great. Other than that, I did have one RN full-time retire, Jennifer Tompkins. She had her retirement party last Saturday, so she stayed on PRN if I need her like a shift a month, but we did lose one full-time night shift nurse. So, we talked to some, I'm reached out to some people, but I've hired 2 PRNs, but they only want a couple of days a week, day shift, like everybody, pretty much. And we've been kind of talking about a traveler, like you heard last time. I think Lori had mentioned that some of the other Alliant facilities have had to go that way.
Yeah.
And it might just be something we have to do, because if we don't do that, then it limits our admissions. If I have one nurse on night shift, even with a CNA until 11, I cap out at the number of admissions. So, it definitely is a barrier for us. I think if we just are able to admit one more swing patient a month, that would pay for it.
So how many nurses are we down then?
I'm working on my schedule over here now, and I need a night shift nurse on every single night for the next month, August 10 through September 6, except for 3, and I need 2 night shift nurses on 6 of those nights. So I need 2 at least full,
2.
but I can probably make it swing with 1 and see how it goes. I had one of my day shift nurses this current schedule we're on pulling half days and half nights, and I'm very thankful that she did that, but she's got kids, and she can't continue to
That'd
do
be
that. She was
crazy.
just being a great team player, yeah.
Make it
So
crazy.
next month's gonna be even more of a challenge, so I'm hoping we can get something figured out and get them in here before August 10th is my goal.
Okay, great.
I think that's all I've got. Unless somebody has any questions.
Education going all right?
Education's going all right, yeah, we've got we do it, the ACLS and PALS and BLS twice a year with Vicky, and actually, last time she was here, because Crystal and Melanie had worked at Career Source, and they paid for that, for some of us, so last time she was here, Vicky and I talked about doing some EKG courses, some different courses like that, so we're gonna try to get her in with that, just seeing what we can get covered, that won't be a big expense, but we need the education either way.
Yep.
Gotta keep everybody
We do.
educated.
Yeah, and also, just to let you know, we did advertise the assistant nursing director's position, and we have what we call a swing bed coordinator position that was going to be part-time. Jason Bunner, we were talking about that, we're going to move that position to a full-time case management position that would do swing bed, but will also do utilization review, getting on the phone, talking about prior authorizations. That's what came up at the strategic planning meeting. We had that conversation about that. So this particular person will do a whole lot of other stuff besides, it'll do swing bed, but also help out with case management piece of the hospital. So, so I just made that, we just thought about that the other night.
Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yep.
very much.
Mr. Walker,
Yes, ma'am.
this is what Franklin County produces.
This is what Franklin County produces. I've been saying it all along.
I know, that,
Yeah.
I got it from you.
Yeah.
I remember when she was walking up and down the campus in high school. Look, she always blushes when I say that.
know.
But I'm not any kin to her, and I'm so proud of her.
Thank you.
When I see her, it makes my heart smile.
Yeah,
Because it's not true that Franklin County's education system is broken. You can get it if you want it.
It's all what you put in it. I say that about my kids too. I got my son starting FSU next month from Franklin County. I mean, it's what you put in it. It's a lot of guidance from the parents.
But it's always good to see individuals that grow up, come through the
Yes.
system, they get ready to graduate. Usually I say that when I'm invited at the Franklin County schools.
That's right.
Scholarships, say, hey, this is what we produce. We have young people that are graduating this year, and we mentioned that before, that they're smart. I mean, I think this class was so smart. We got some people work at ACE, these young people that work there.
this year.
That really,
Yeah.
I mean,
But there
these
are honor
kids,
students every year.
and then they go and do great things.
That's right.
They go. They do-
Harvard.
Yeah.
We have
Columbia.
Yeah.
They do great things. So you're right. This is what we produce in
This
Franklin
is
County.
what we
Courtney
produce.
Effort is one of them.
It takes a village.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done. Clinical services is over.
We see you hiding behind the desk there.
Kristen Willis over there, y'all. Kristen Willis, she's getting ready to
Y'all talk
She
this
graduated.
about me sometime. How about
Okay.
that?
Wait. Kristen graduated, y'all.
I did graduate.
Yeah.
I just gotta pass my boards.
You got to pass your boards, right? And so, but this
Was
is what
that a
we.
doer for you?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
But this is what we produce in Franklin County. People grew up
Yes.
here doing great things. I think we just need to continue to highlight that.
That's right.
There you go.
Well,
All right, I just got.
I'll say one thing. I think the school system is under the same thing the hospital is. The negative people do the most talking. That's what it is. That's what it is, so.
All right, we don't got sidetracked.
All right, let's go. All right.
Sorry.
Okay, the clinic update.
Yeah, Susie is out. Well, she's at the clinic now at the front desk. She has staff that is out for surgery, so she's covering this morning, so we have to pass on a report.
Yeah, I understand she's really down people there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
her staffing issues are significant.
Yeah, she has her front desk person is out. I don't want to say what's happening with her. But she had another nurse, just one nurse that she has to fill. But she had another person that got injured a little bit. So she's been having some issues here. And so sometimes in healthcare, in the other area, you seem like you're good, and then somebody gets sick, somebody get hurt, then they kind of hit you a little bit here and there.
That's so aware.
But the clinic, since I've been working at the clinic, not working in the clinic,
Yeah.
you really see firsthand, what's happening really. And we serve a lot of different people, in both of our clinics, and it is very important that these clinics are here, and they do an amazing job. I just need to make sure I wash my hands enough, because sometimes I always pick something up, but
You might be wearing a mask if you go through there.
I maybe
All
need
the
to.
sick people coming in.
Yeah.
Okay, next item is plant operations report. Mr. Gibson?
Good morning, everyone, again. All right, the first one is for Mr. Berry. I've already told him. I've already talked to Aaron. I've got my paperwork for his Carabel Pharmacy. We know the process, so once we get it approved from the hospital board and the county commissioners, then we'll be good to go. And I'll provide all the paperwork to Erin, and she's gonna put it together for us and put it out for us. Put it out for
Craig,
bid.
tell them what you, because let's just explain to the board what you're talking about, because they may not know.
Okay, the process for, Erin does this all the time for the county. When you get a project going, there's a process for it. What she'll do is she'll fill out this form, and we'll fill out what we need to in a couple of places, who to contact for the project, which would be me, and then some other entities on here. It'll describe what the project is, and we'll put it out there, where it's at, located. We'll have I think it's a week for the contractors, whoever decides that they want to bid on it, to have a meeting at the place where the project is going to happen, so they can look at it and ask questions. After that, they'll have 3 to 4 days to apply, and then we'll start that process there, and then they'll present bids to the county, and they'll open the sealed bids, and then we'll go from there. But that's the process.
that
And I
is
know
a
we're waiting on-
mandatory site visit, right?
Sir?
Mandatory site
Yes,
visit.
mandatory site visit, yes. And then Mr. Barry and I were talking this morning about a few other things. I know Marvin's got to finalize his price for what he's got going.
And John to give that update,
It's done.
he'll get
Yeah, he'll
Okay,
get that.
that's
Yeah.
good time to bring this up. We had to move our meeting to this week because they're gonna renovate here. Okay? The Civic, the Armory, I call it Civic Center, will be ready to go in about a week. So, without delaying us for a month, John, say next Thursday, Friday, or the next Monday, would you want to have, we'll probably have to have a special board meeting. Because if we don't, we're gonna be 3 weeks or 4 weeks for our next board meeting and draw us behind.
okay, so if anything comes up.
Yeah.
What he's saying is, if anything comes up after the retail pharmacy meeting, which is next week, that needs a board vote, then we'll call a special meeting.
Yeah.
For that.
John, it's gonna be up to you when the special meeting is. Okay?
Okay, now Duffy, since we're talking about the pharmacy, you want John to give his report right now, since Craig is up here, in case people have any questions
Sure.
about it, or you want him to wait, or?
That'll be fine.
Bottom line is that Marvin's got his work finished, okay? He's priced it out and that, so we got a ballpark number. I have not looked at it. The next thing that'll happen is, Jason and,
Alyssa?
Marvin will meet with us at our next meeting. They'll go through it. The only thing I know of that after that is the amount. And then we can, if we have to go to the county for approval on it, which we probably will.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna run around 175 to 225,000. We'll get that approval, which will be hopefully in the next meeting. Not next, in 2 weeks thereafter. And then we would advertise, they'll show up. When it's mandatory, the reason we want to make it mandatory, we don't want the fly-by-nighters to just take the bid.
Yeah, I know.
run it.
Right.
And then after that point, and we select someone, they post their bond and so forth and so on, then it's all Craig's lap.
Okay?
Okay?
Yeah.
And we're there to support you, but you're the closest one to the
Oh, yeah.
plant as far as we're concerned, and
Yeah.
you've got to, you know the standards that you need to adhere to, so.
Yeah.
And then
I'll be there.
yeah, and
That's
then,
good. Well, I just want to say, let's don't let anything slow us down. If come time, our board's gonna have to vote on the proposal, okay? Let's get it done. And I'm real comfortable with what y'all are doing. Marvin's great, you know what you're doing. Craig knows what he's doing. Let's get that done, because then we gotta get the county. And we still got some stuff to do.
yeah, so we're excited about it. It's moving right along.
Oh, yeah.
John is whipping a whip. All right, right, sorry about that, Craig, go ahead.
Okay, all right. We, currently, there's a couple other jobs that we've got going on in the hospital. We're working on completing the 6 patient rooms with new flooring. That flooring has come in. I'm just waiting on the installers to give me a date to come. Hopefully I can get them all pretty much done in about 2 to 3 days, and that'll complete that whole patient wing with new flooring in there.
Good.
David and I sent out about a week ago to all the department managers, asking them to look around their departments, to freshen it up, new desks, new tables, filing cabinets, make them a part of this. Give us some ideas that you would like to see in
Good
your
idea.
departments. So that's what I'm working on. I think I've got 3 so far. Got Courtney's, and I've got a couple of others. So that's good. We're going to discuss this with them all at our QAPI meeting. Two of them we already have in the works. We're fixing to remodel the respiratory room, their storage area, and the lab. Both of these, respiratory and lab, are both sleep and office because they're there 24/7. So we're going to take those rooms. Respiratory is going to be first. When the flooring, I get an idea of how long it's going to take to get the flooring here, then we'll start in that room because we've got to move them completely out. But we're going to do a complete remodel, floor, paint, ceiling, everything, and then we'll rehang and new furniture, whatever they want to do in there. But we've got that fixing to start up. Weems East, we're going to have, next month, we're going to be installing a new HVAC unit for the front lobby. The one we had that's 15 years old has a small leak in the Freon line that, of course, is in the very back and you can't get to it. So they've added Freon to it to give us enough time to order one. So that's going to be installed next month when it comes in. Generator update. Gary Gargis and James Lamb are working on some electrical issues we've had. I think I reported a couple months ago. It's going to take us 19 weeks to get this gear switch. All that is a huge panel that switches the gears, panels to transfer the switches when they shut the generator on and off. That's all this is. Gary and them have come up with another idea that they may can use most of what we have there now. So they're drawing those plans up, getting those ready. It'll have to go back before an ACA again. So hopefully with a readmission, it won't take as long. In the past, it has been quicker because they see that you're working on it and making an improvement. But if that's the case, then we can go ahead and start moving forward with it and get it done a lot sooner than what we think. And then we can get our CT hooked up and everything. Brian in radiology is having the CT trailer. He's having an inspection done on that next month. That will go along with our CT. When ACA came to inspect that, that's one of 2 things that they ask us for. I've gotten mine done, and he's getting his done, and we'll send that into Mutar, who is our ACA contact, and get that cleared up for him, and that'll take that off the list when they come back for their 100% inspection. And I think that's it.
Good.
All right. Any other questions? No?
The only other thing I think we talked about was that when that new grant comes in, the 445, we are talking about improving our lobby and upgrading some of the ER areas. So maybe we need to put together some kind of little update as far as how we want to rearrange that, how we want that to look. So if we could work on that as well ahead of time, so that when that money comes in, we're ready to roll with it rather than waiting for the money to come in and then having to put the plan together. I think that might be helpful.
All right. That's probably going to require somebody to come in and draw it up, and it's going to be a lot because we're talking about knocking walls out and really redoing it where it really looks welcoming.
Yeah,
to come in.
the ED. Well, the majority of the money is going towards the ED,
Yeah.
and then we'll throw some money in the lobby. But the ED first, although you probably would need 2 funding cycles for the ED to get that done, and then we just need to be careful how we touch the walls, from the last thing that we got from ACA.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, let's
You
be.
can do a drawing.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
just be preactive about it. Get those drawings in before the money comes in, so that when the money does come in, we're not waiting now on the drawings.
It all depends how much the drawings cost. And
Right.
so, but Craig can look at that and get the
Yeah.
drawings. But the ED piece, we'll get that and have to price that out, because the money that's coming in may not be able to do the whole ED at what all we want to do. So we just might have to do phases of it. But we can get.
Who was that we were looking at that took them 2 phases with the grant money to do?
Doctor's Memorial. Yeah. And Oliver Spear did that. So
Yeah.
we'll look at it,
Yeah.
get the designs going. But part of that money also, I think we put something else in there for the capital outlay money. Not all of it went to the ED.
Yeah, no, not all of
No,
it went to the
okay,
ED, yeah.
okay.
We've got other projects going on. I know we've got some money in there for some other flooring in the hospital. I've got some money left over from what we had originally, and I'm working with my Carpet One now, about going ahead and putting in certain areas to use that money up. Yeah.
Yeah, so we just got to do a redemption, a
Mainly the
drawing,
hallways.
a schematics. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Schematics, what we want to do.
Yeah, but, I think we've got some pictures of what they did, and we could probably take off from that, and we can measure that out and draw up some ideas of what we would like to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we want to make sure it be nurse-friendly, because really we want.
Oh, absolutely.
And the physicians in there to say, okay, when I walk in the ED, this is how I want it to be. Because we don't need
Yeah.
to make that decision.
No.
It needs to be the people that working in there need to say,
Yeah.
okay, when I walk in, like the guy from Doctor's Memorial, that the nurse, like, he was telling me, when I walk in, this is what we want to see. So we'll want to get that input from coordinator, nurses, and the doctors, saying this is what we want to see when we walk into that ED.
Because that's going to entail us taking, when you walk in the ER first off to register, we're going to change that out too. Yeah, it'll all
And we just got to
flow.
And we just got to be careful how we touch the building, because it's an old building. Because that's what happened with the CT room. When ARCA stopped us, they said, hey, this is an old building, close the project down, you got to get this inspected. So we just need to be careful how we do that.
And it may be a little bit easier back there because, that was added on later.
Okay.
So, so it may not be as, it's going to be critical either way, but
Well,
it may not be as bad.
With the ED, maybe you put together a focus group with the physicians and the nurses that work in the ER, because you want it to be, employee-friendly as far as how they're going to service patients, but the other side is we want patients to walk in and make it feel open and welcoming too. So, maybe a focus group amongst some of the employees that work in the ER to give it, to work on putting together the schematic.
Yeah, and I know Courtney has already put some information out to our nurses as well. What would they want to see, just to get them more involved. But you're right, Bill. I like that. All right. Craig,
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you, Craig.
Yep.
Thank you, Rick.
I have a first question. And maybe, Mr. Barry, this is for you from the perspective of managing community expectations. What's the rough ETA that we're talking about for the pharmacy being ready to open?
Thought we were shooting for somewhere around April of next year.
Okay, it's just good to know because
That's
people are
just,
excited, they heard us
Oh,
say
oh,
we're
yeah.
doing it, now they're like, well, when? So we just want to manage expectations.
That's
It's
good. I
not
like that.
September, so April 27. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep. All right, everybody else good?
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
y'all.
Duffy, let's take a 5-minute break.
Okay, good idea. 5-minute break. CFO report, Mr. David Bowling.
Oh, my bad.
Get everything launched up. It's hard to believe, guys, we're already 9 months into this current fiscal year. But speaking of that, so I want to share with the board and everyone the hospital's performance through June. Like I just mentioned, we are 9 months through our fiscal year to date at the George Weems facility, 9/30 fiscal year end. And, after I get through talking about June's performance, I do want to mention about the budget that was shared with the county as well, and I'll talk about that afterwards. But when you look at June, the month of June, some key drivers for the month of June's performance. Again, these are financial statements are in your packet. Jason and his team did a great job putting together their analysis and so forth, so you'll see a lot of good details in your packet. But just in summary, when you look at the June's performance, our revenues, our chargeable gross patient revenues for the services provided, finished down about $205,000 or 12% versus prior year. And when you see that down versus the prior year, I want to call out that EMS was in the prior year numbers. And we talked about this some last month, of how the next 3 months in comparison year over year, the numbers will be a little bit skewed as far as variances, and I'll do the best I can to normalize the EMS activities so that we can have a good understanding. So when I say revenues were down $205,000 year over year for the month of June, EMS contributed $129,000 of that. Mm-hmm. So when you normalize out the EMS revenues, our gross patient revenue without EMS finished down 76 or 5% versus the same period last year. With the revenues being down, our total patient days were down, so our inpatient revenue was down, with our total patient days down 47 or 59%. Although down for the month of June, I always want to reference this, although we were down for the month of June, for the 9 months of our fiscal year though, our total patient days are up 101 days or 22%, with the swing bed contributing the most. It is up 152 days or 58%. Again, that's a tremendous impact year over year for the entire 9 months comparison.
Yeah, I mean, David, if you look for our year-to-date numbers, the only two numbers are positive, which is the swing beds, which is 58%, which is big.
Right.
Observation days about 7%, which is okay, but everything else is negative.
Right.
So I mean, that really, I mean, the swing bed is carrying us. We got to pay a lot of attention to that program because that's carrying us right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay.
great program.
Thank you.
Want to continue to promote it. Since you just mentioned swing bed, I'm going to mention this too. In our strategy meeting, and we talked about doubling that. So our goal is to double the swing bed. So we want to get that out there. Christy and Colleen and the team have done a great job continuing to market, promote it, calling it out like this. So again,
let me just add, when we swing bed, when you look at rural hospitals, critical access hospitals, swing bed is probably the most number one, revenue service line. So, you're not going to really make your money off your inpatient because you can't keep them there 2 or 3 days. That number's not going to be high. But that's why they offer, rural critical access hospitals get a good rate for swing beds. And so that's the area there that we'll continue to focus on. I just want to just make that observation.
So what I'm hearing is it's not just Weems. Overall, that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's the way it is. If you're a rural hospital, especially a critical access hospital, you get a certain percentage of a higher reimbursement for what we call rehab, swing bed, inpatient rehab. That revenue, and David and of course Jason can mention this as well. That revenue for critical access hospitals is very good. Now for rural hospitals, that's a little different, but for critical access hospitals, and then you look at the inpatient volume, as a critical access hospital, we cannot keep them there as an inpatient no more than 3 days anyway, so those people have to be released.
The hospital's overall average daily census, and Bill, you mentioned observations factored into this. So our overall average daily census, including those observation patients, is averaging around 2.6 from a fiscal year to date. That is up versus 2 where we were last year. So it is, as we've been calling out, it is incrementally increasing overall throughout.
But David, I think one thing that is positive to look at this is that we're looking at the ancillary services just for June. You're looking at about an even on the emergency room visits. So we were losing 9%, now we're up about 2%.
Yep.
So
Good.
that's come back a little bit for us, right, in the emergency room section?
Absolutely. Good segue into my next comment. Outpatient revenues were up 160.
Sorry, I'm stealing your thunder.
No, you got it. You got it. Outpatient was up 162 versus prior year for the month of June. That outpatient does include, as Bill mentioned, the ER activity. Our ER visits were slightly up 8 or 2% versus the same period in the prior year. The hospital averaged about 15 visits per day during the month of June in our ER, which was the busiest month we've had our physical year to date, and also really the busiest month we've had in the past 2 years within the ER. So that was very encouraging to see that we're actually up, continuing to improve versus our trailing 12-month run rate. So this was our highest month in ER activity. So that was very, very encouraging to hear. I still do want to bring up, the idea of continuing to promote our ER and the quality of care that's getting provided there. As I've called out in previous, I mentioned it, and even in the strategy meeting, we've lost market share in that area, but seeing some encouraging results the past 2 months with ER traffic picking up, that's encouraging to see, and we'd love to be able to get our market share back to where we were 3 years ago. So it's good movement there, and glad we're able to be here to provide it, obviously. Outpatient visits, outside of the ER did finish relatively flat versus the prior year. And Bill, to your comment about the year to date, you see those categories down, but for the month of June, ER up, outpatient relatively flat, and then from a year to date standpoint, when you look at our outpatient, and even for the month of June alone, we did see some increases within our overall imaging exams. Additionally, when you look at our CTs, ultrasound, and mammo, we do continue to exceed fiscal year to date versus these same periods in the prior year. Our clinics, combined, both east and west, were up approximately $40,000 versus prior year with our combined visits. So when you look at visits, so we were slightly down 13 or 2% year over year. I do want to call out, though, the East Clinic, though, was up, which was encouraging to see. They were up 7 visits versus where they were this time last year, so it was good to see. West did finish down some, and as David has mentioned and Susie has mentioned, and David, I mentioned this even at Strat meeting about our providers being out of the office, getting additional education and so forth, so those out-of-office days contributed some of those down visits.
Yeah, so we have providers out for the month of June, and they will be out for the month of July as well, so you'll see that number drop a little bit too.
Yep. One of the other things too I want to mention about the clinics, though, just to kind of, when you look at the year-to-date and seeing those volumes down year over year, we have seen some and experienced some spikes with no-shows. I know Susie and the team are reviewing patterns or opportunities to improve that. Through Alliant, we did, and I believe last month this was mentioned, we are launching a physician practice council, which involves leaders across the Alliant network, and it involves clinic leaders, right? So not necessarily providers, but the actual clinic managers themselves, where they can share best practices. And I know one of those agenda items are the no-shows. What are you doing in your practice to help, and encourage improvement there within our no-shows? And they're going to share a lot of other best practices amongst that team.
That's
so
really good.
Susie's very excited to be a part
That's
of
good.
that, and I think
That's
she'll
good.
do a great job.
You're doing a good job. Let's do the same thing.
Yeah, we got great teams and great leaders. They're on the same EHR platforms. They'll learn from each other, share with each other these best practices, and I think that'll go over really well. These chargeable revenues and volumes, when you look at our net, how does this translate into what we anticipate our cash to be, or our net revenue? estimate. Our net patient revenue did finish down 80,000 or 9% versus actual period in prior year. Again, some of that does involve the EMS that's factored into that. Hospital operating expenses were down 175,000 or 16% versus the same actual period last year.
David, just one quick question.
Yes, sir.
Looks like salaries and wages is down significantly.
Yep.
Is that because we're basically missing people?
Yep.
We have some open positions that we haven't filled?
No, you're a couple steps in front of me. The personnel costs, which includes our salaries, wages, and benefits, as well as labor. As I said, overall operating expenses are down 175,000, but
Part of that's EMS?
Those personnel costs is 210,000 of that decrease, which includes 148,000 of EMS expenses that were in there
Right.
last year.
But we did budget for 209, and when we did the budgeting process, we were assuming that April, they would be off our books.
Right.
So you're still down 116,000 versus 209 budgeted. So we knew that going into the budget process, so we're still
Right.
down from what we expected.
Right.
Right?
Right, good, with expense management, inpatient activity down for the month of June and so forth. And I'll mention about productivity here as well, that we've seen, some improvement, with our productivity results. I actually have some notes on that, Bill, since you just mentioned that. When you look at management's monitoring of daily productivity, they're always trying to find ways to reduce premium. I know Courtney mentioned some opportunities that she's got in nursing at night shifts. But for comparison purposes, when you look at our most recent pay period ending, which ended July the 12th of 2026, our targeted FTEs, full-time equivalents or full-time employees for the organization, finished at 95% productive. That's a good achievement, to get there. I mean, we want to see 98, we want to see 100%, obviously, but it's moving in the right direction. I'll say that way. And just to kind of put that into a little bit further context, I mean, that 95% productive is at approximately 63 full-time equivalents. With the hospital, about 3 or so FTEs above its volume budgeted target. So, we're very close with the volumes that we have today of being a highly, productive hospital. So that's good to see that, and a good indicator that you're managing, your labor spend appropriately.
Yeah, let me just add. Jason Bonner does a great job of getting us this information every bi-weekly, and usually we kind of hover around the 95, 96. One time it was a little lower when EMS was a part, of the numbers. But, Jason usually do a report with EMS in, EMS out. But we normally been around, 95, Jason, or 96, 97 area. So that's pretty good. So we want to continue to watch that. But our hospital is so small, the volumes are so small, you're really not going to really be overstaffed in a whole lot of areas, to be honest with you.
Well, the good thing about the analysis, as David's mentioning, I mean, it gives us our spots to review, spots to, we got our areas that we know, right, we're working on and looking to improve in some of those areas. Some of those areas are excellent, right? So, again, as he said, volume drives a lot of that, too. So, but the team stays on there. That's produced every 2 weeks. There is a formal report that's produced out every 2 weeks that helps them identify where we can target to improve. So, but you're going to continue to see, and I'm glad we're still talking about this, because now what we're encouraged to seeing is our overtime. Obviously, our premium spend that I just mentioned is down. We don't have the EMS factoring into that equation anymore, so it kind of gives us a better tool to help manage that. Our professional fees, when I talk about this again, year over year, we're up, and again, it's from bringing in the ER providers back in-house. Our supplies and our purchased contract-related services, those are essentially flat year over year as well, so good management there. Other expenses are up year over year, and again, I've mentioned this in previous meetings, our insurance renewals that we were tapped with did trigger that increase year over year. So, you're going to see that throughout the remainder of this fiscal year. Our non-operating revenues are finished at $279 or $279,000. Again, a lot of that, which helped contribute to this bottom line performance for the month, was driven by additional monies that we were able to take into income related to the grant recognition on some of the capital projects that are being finalized. Some of the LIP income, which is a low income pool. Monies the state of Florida awards out, those were taken into income, and then, of course, the tax subsidies and county support as well. So all of that, when you look at June's month-ending performance, a consolidated net income positive of $97,000 on a budgeted net income of $26,000, exceeding the same actual period in the prior year by $92,000 as well. Again, a lot of that driven by some additional monies we were able to recognize into income from grants and LIP. Some balance sheet cash flow related comments. And again, a lot of this is in your packet as well, but cash as of June 30th was at approximately $1.3 million. That is down from where we did finish the month of May at 1.9, so we were down and did move through some cash for the month of June. That month-over-month decline, again, AP disbursements, which AP, again, as I've mentioned in the past, we don't have any vendors at risk. We are managing our AP and paying our vendors on a timely manner. So no vendors at risk there. Also, the additional outlays that we did see cash related to some EMS compensation and benefits. You should see in your packet, I won't dive into it too much, in this setting, but you should see in your packet the transactions of moving some of the EMS activity from our balance sheet to the county. There's some notes in there where Jason was able to work with Brian Hall with Car Riggs and Ingram, and they have reviewed some of that activity as well. So those monies are moving from our books to county books. It did contribute a receivable around $598,000 in other receivables for us, which does involve the vehicles, equipment, unexpired portion of the prepaids and so forth that were going over to the county. The net property, plant, and equipment.
So is that real money that's going to hit our books?
The movement of the monies will go from, it'll go from transaction, accounting transaction where they'll record it, they'll release our receivable by when we do the actual counting transactions with them.
Think that's going to hit Q3?
Jason, I'm not sure when that's going to hit the actual books.
There's a meeting in August. I know they'll have a final meeting in August. I don't know when it's going to hit. I mean, it'll be the last fiscal year.
Not our Q3, right? Because
right.
This is the end of our Q3 here. We're starting into our Q4 now in July.
Right.
But we'll work with the county on that transaction, obviously, on the movement of that. Our patient cash collections are up $235,000 year over year. The hospital's days cash on hand finished at approximately 45 days. AR continues to be a strong focus here. We did see our AR days increase, which again, we don't want to see that, but I know the team's targeting and having those calls. David and Jason both just mentioned the expanded role of the physician that they're looking to bring on to focus on denials, upfront authorizations and so forth to help improve the turn on cash there within our receivables. Just a few other notes there on the balance sheet, again, to always bring awareness to this. When you look at our payables, again, vendor payables are much less than what that AP category shows. That AP category, again, includes those grant-related monies. I always call out that we take into income when grants get and those obligations get met, and it sets as a liability until you're able to meet those obligations. So you will continue to see those. We are moving those monies as those grants are getting met. So it does include other current liabilities, does include those real capital improvement dollars and so forth that Craig even gets up and talks about. So again, those monies will move and are moving appropriately as they're being recognized into service. So That's all I got for the month of June's performance, unless there's any particular questions related to June. If no questions on June, I do want to mention too that and all may have seen, I know David was going to mention about this as well, but we did have the county budget, or the budget, the hospital budget was presented to the county. Again, we appreciate the hard work that Jason and team and David put into this, and certainly the county's support and approval as well. I know the finance committee of the hospital did look at this as well, but we want to mention this to the board. And just to give a little bit of context around the development of this budget, there is a lot of work that goes into it. You certainly start with your fiscal year-to-date current performance. EMS was backed out of it, obviously, and brought forward onto the county so that we have a good starting spot, right, to begin with, to project out what our 27 is going to be. We did put some growth into the budget, and we did have our strategy, and I know David's going to talk about this on his report. We did have our strategy meeting this past week, so we did put and forecasted some growth into our budget. One of those growth areas, I mentioned it already earlier, is the swing bed program. We are putting some strong growth related to that program. We think it is really starting to take off and has been taking off, and we're seeing those results now. We also build into the retail pharmacy into that as well, as John mentioned and shared with Colleen. We do expect that to go live around April, May of 2027 as well. So we did build that out, and we certainly appreciate the county's continued support as well. And one of the things I want to mention there too, the county continues to provide the proceeds and allotment that we've received here. I mean, when you look at and it's so much needed, in this hospital. When you look at the county's commitment, and the county did approve, the 1,688,648, so 1,688,648. Again, it's very much appreciated, because when you look at the overall uncompensated care that this hospital provides, we provide over $2.5 million in uncompensated care. I mean, that 168 falls a little short of that, but it certainly is appreciated to help us fill some of that gap. Because without that, it would be very challenging to continue to provide that level of care. So it is great to see we got a very supportive county to help us with that cash need there with our uncompensated. And then, overall, again, from a budget standpoint, I thought again, the process obviously went very well with the county's support and blessing of that too. So, but that's, I wanted to bring that up to the board as well. And again, that's the county approval. And we will do, our internal budget here as well, layering in some of the strategies that we talked about at our strategic retreat last Friday. Again, David's going to mention a little bit more about that in his presentation, but that's all I got. If there's any questions.
Can you just talk us through the rural transition funding, where that's at?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Bill, for bringing that up too. We're on standby. I mean, we're anxiously waiting. July 27th is the targeted announcement of that. Again, we did apply and submit on behalf of 7 hospitals in this North Florida consortium, 4 Alliant-based facilities, network facilities, and 3 non. So 7 came together to approach these monies. And again, that was at the request and encouragement of ACA on how that should work. Again, there's 6 different service providers to bring additional services to the community as well. So there's a lot of pieces inside of that grant, and 5-year grant. The grant writer did an excellent job. We feel like, again, we're hopeful, very hopeful that we had a strong enough case and strong enough support between the consortium of facilities as well as the consortium of service providers who will be coming in to help provide these services. So we hope we hope that that's we'll find out July 27th, and we haven't heard if there's going to be any delays, or that was the hard date that was put out there previously, and unless you got to.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything yet about delays, but, just when you have major grants like this, sometimes you can run into a delay because people that do not get the grant award can file a lawsuit regarding the grant, statewide. So, but I hadn't heard anything yet, but our ears are open like everybody else.
Yep.
Ears open throughout the state.
About 4 days, and we'll find out, yeah.
But we'll keep you
Exactly.
updated.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're anxiously awaiting. I think everybody, is. But, yeah, hopefully we'll have some great news to share at the next meeting. If not before then, well, certainly if we are selected, the board and county and folks will hear immediately, because, again, those will be deployed immediately to start, the implementation process, coordinating this whole grant opportunity. So, could be a great opportunity for Franklin County.
Yeah. And I just want to just thank, David Bowling and really Jason Bonner. Jason is the man behind the scenes, so a lot of the stuff that we don't see here. He don't want me to toot his horn, but he gets the jobs done. He get the job done, and Samantha and that team, but they do a good job. I was thinking, somehow I was just thinking about my first time as a CEO here and the financial people I had. I'm like, wow, man, if I'd had Jason them here, would have been further off. But they do a great job. They just get the job done. We greatly appreciate, all that they do here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Bowen.
All good?
Thank you.
Okay. All right, my time, Duffy. Yeah, checked out.
Sorry, I was going to wake you up, but you're so peaceful.
No,
so peaceful.
It's nice to have a financial report when there's not any elephants running at you or something like that, it's kind of routine right there. That's real nice.
He checked out just then, but he's all right. All right, here's my report. I have one board action item. We have a executive session here coming up pretty soon for IT policies. These are the policies we looked at last year. We've been looking at them, but we really need to get them formalized here, within our department. So when in the executive session, I'll give you all the IT policies. We have about 30 policies here, you all. But we really need to get these policies on our books so we can, just get everything in order. And the first one is board action request to approve the IT policies pending executive session review. So I would like an approval pending the executive session review, because we cannot approve anything during the executive session. You can only talk about
Okay,
policies.
so we're gonna go over the details during the executive session, but we can do if we have to call back the board, we will. But you're asking for a motion to do a pre-approval based on the executive session.
Yeah, and then if you have an issue, then we can
Right, we'll
come
come
back.
back, right.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Go ahead.
Second item, I thank you all for participating in our 2026-2029 strategic planning meeting. One of the items that came up in the 2023 to 2026 strategic planning meeting was the marketing issues that we had back then. And so that's why Christy began to mention back in 2023, we began to start implementing some things. So we had a strategic planning meeting that was held at Trinity. We want to thank Bill and Colleen for facilitating that for us.
Thank y'all.
Y'all did a great job. We had a great time there. Thank all the board members that were able to attend. And we had, out of that, we have 6 strategic goals. I just want to go through these goals here. Our focus areas will be people. We want to be the employee of choice, quality, deliver quality service, growth, recruit providers, grow in services that serve the community, and grow revenue. Service is another area. We want to build a culture of learning and excellent customer service, community, lead and partner with others on community health initiatives, and finance, improve the financial position of Weems Memorial Hospital in support of the mission. Now, our mission is a big long, we're going to work on tweaking that mission and bringing it back to the hospital board to get some feedback for you in this area. Each strategic planning goal area will have a strategy deliverable in it. For example, the finance goal will be to reduce AR days, accounts and receivable days, to 50. So each one of the areas will have particular goals. The leadership team will work on those goals, and we'll bring those back to the board meeting, for your review.
David, one quick question. There seems to be a lot more for us to do with regard to some of these goals and some of the participation from the board. And we're missing one board member that, certainly should be updated anyway. But I think what we might need to do is have a separate meeting and not try and squeeze this into one of our existing board meetings. We might want to think about a separate board meeting to go over this.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit more time and can really, banter about the points.
Yeah, what we can do, we can always have an executive session, or you can have a separate strategic planning meeting. And strategic planning meetings, those meetings do not have to be open to the public because you're dealing with strategic stuff for the hospital.
Right.
So we can do that, the pleasure of the board, and so we can decide to either tag it as an executive session or have a separate, strategic planning meeting just to focus on these strategic initiatives that was spoken about during the meeting.
Yeah, I just don't want to try and squeeze that into an existing meeting because we already run along anyway. So
Yeah.
it might be smarter to try and separate that.
Okay, so maybe we'll call if the board members. We'll look at some dates maybe in August. We have to see, because August we're gonna have the risk management executive session, so that's gonna be a long meeting for the August meeting. Then we may have a pharmacy special meeting, and then we'll see if we can have a strategic planning special meeting. So we just need to figure out what time of the month. It may have to be the beginning of September.
Right.
To have that special meeting for strategic planning, and then that way we all can look through these strategic objectives, that was developed, have more discussion. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that on everybody's top
Okay.
of mind.
Okay, all right, well, that'll work. Well, we'll do that. The county budget workshops, David Bowling already spoke about that. Thank you, and thank the county for giving us that $1.6 million that will be coming out this year. That's sales tax. It's the people, anytime you buy something in Franklin County, we get a penny. So every time David Bowling come here to visit and eat, we get a penny of that. See, he bought some this morning. We're getting a penny of that. That comes to the hospital. Half of that goes to the capital outlay fund, and half of it goes to the operations of the facility. And when you look at the 1.6 million we getting out from the sales tax, that money help offset the charity care that we're providing, $2.something million that we're providing to this community, charity care. And so that kind of help offsets that. But we thank the county for their partnership. I just want to just give you an update on the oncology infusion program. This is something we've been working on for a minute.
Where are we?
They have, the Main Street have their agreement, and they feel that some areas in their agreement cannot be shared publicly. We're a public facility, so any kind of agreement we have to share it publicly. And they indicated that, they have confidentiality statements in their agreement. Attorney Schuler really want their attorneys to say, okay, show me that your agreement meets this statutory requirement that it cannot be discussed in public. And so that's what they're doing now. We're going back and forth.
How
So
in the world are we gonna approve a contract
That the public doesn't know about.
without some kind of?
yeah, well, they just say it may
I
be
mean,
it may be trade secrets. They're saying, but still, we want to see. Attorney Schuler want to make sure he identified that they can show us this is a trade secret, and then we may have to meet individually with the
I just don't like
board
it.
members.
I don't like having secrets of contracts.
Okay, well, that's it.
I don't like it.
I know. I'm just that's what they're saying, that they somebody can steal their information about their
About
program.
Their business model, basically.
The business model. Yeah,
Their business model.
yeah. So we're working through that. Just working through that.
So do they want us to sign some type of document?
Yeah, well, we're not signing a
We're not ready
document.
for that.
Yeah,
Not ready for
no,
that.
not yet. So.
Because he
Seen
still
the
has to come
contract.
and present to the county, right?
Yeah, he guys come present first to you all
To the
again,
board.
say, hey, these are the services we want to provide, and then if the board is agreeable to it, it may not be a dollar amount that well, from his point of view, from Main Street point of view, is that their agreement is like a budget neutral agreement with us, that, it won't cost us anything, so.
Until we start making money.
Until we start making money on it. But we still want to make sure that the board can review the document, that we can
Correct.
share the document. If that cannot happen, then I'm going to have to meet with each board member with the Main Street, with agreement. Individually, so you all can review it, but they just concerned about their business model thing.
They want us to sign, an NDA of some kind?
Yeah, but we don't sign NDAs. The county is not
Does
going to
Mr.
go.
Schuler have any time frame of when he's gonna be able to get with their attorney?
Yeah,
Have their attorneys, has Mr. Schuler and Main Street's attorney been in contact yet?
not directly. It's just that, we've been sharing information back and forth. Now,
Can we not have a special meeting with their attorney and with ours, with the board?
no.
No?
No.
Why?
A special meeting for what? You talking about with their
I
attorney?
mean, I'm kind of on Duffy's side about the secrecy. Like, I think the board needs to know what we're up against before we present it to the public, and we're not even aware.
Oh, no.
Well, they got the attorney's got to figure it out, our county attorney, and he will advise us.
Okay, so what is happening, that we were going to invite Main Street here to talk about the agreement, to a meeting. And Main Street said, well, we can talk about certain parts of our agreement, but we don't want to talk about this other part because it's our business model
But the
secrets.
board is privy to that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we will be.
The board would be privy to it. And
public
so,
wouldn't.
Before I call it, go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, like David mentioning, essentially, they have a business model.
Right.
Exactly.
I
They
understand that
don't
completely.
want that business model being shared.
I can
publicly.
live with
As a
that. I
business
can live
owner,
with
I
that.
completely
Right.
understand that.
Absolutely.
Can't they present on an executive session, and then
That's what I'm
then it's not?
asking.
Okay, that's
Right?
what,
Yes,
yeah.
that's what I'm asking.
Okay, that's the ask, and that's why we're saying right now is that's the ask. Can they do it in executive session?
Right.
And so Attorney Schuler is asking, show me in your agreement that your attorney is saying that this agreement qualifies to be exempt in the Florida statutes.
Yeah. They got to
You know,
prove
because,
We've asked for it to be done, they asked and we asked, and so just present it in executive session. But Attorney Schuler says it should be in an open session, basically, because
Yeah.
it doesn't meet the Florida statute that.
yeah, if it doesn't meet the Florida statute, you cannot call an executive session for it.
Right.
So that's what that's the piece we're waiting on.
Yeah.
We're waiting for approval, I
Yeah.
guess.
Does it need to be public, does it need to be executive,
Yeah.
which way does it go?
Now-
We don't
So
have
we
to
just
let-
want to make sure, no, by law, we're covering
That's right.
Yeah.
that this kid,
We're
you're
gonna
not, the
go-
public's not privy to your business model.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
need to know that
yeah.
legally.
We're going
Yeah.
to go on to advise Mr. Schuler and then.
Yeah, and so once we
go
get
from
that,
there.
and so
Nothing
once we
can
get the
do.
advice either way,
We can talk
He
about
can come and
it.
present, and then. we
yeah,
can
yeah.
present it to the public.
And we have to present it individually to each board member,
Okay,
with them, or with their model. We may have to do that.
I got you.
Okay.
They want to, in my prior life, what they're trying to do is each one of us board members have got to be obligated or be in a position that if we leaked any information, that they can move against us. Now, how it's always happened in big projects that I've been involved in is they came in and give you a non-disclosure agreement, your attorneys approved it, and it goes to each one of you, because each one of us could be held liable if anybody leaks.
Leaks in it.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, okay. So we're letting them work that out.
Let them hash that out. Let me know when we're ready.
Where do I sign?
Where do I sign? Exactly.
Primary care physician recruitment, just to update y'all, we have had discussions with the physician practice in Tallahassee about assisting us with recruiting physicians who work in their practice, that they may have interest in working in Franklin County 2 to 3 days per week. And so we're waiting to hear back from them. It's a physician group in Tallahassee that may have some physicians that come here visiting and those different type of things. And so if they want to come and we can hire them for 2 or 3 days a week, we're open to it, so.
Are none of them interested in telemed? So they wouldn't have to make the trip?
It could be, yeah, it could be, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because telemed is pretty big, and with the grant.
Do
that's
our
gonna-
providers, do our MPs or mid-levels, do they do telemed appointments currently for the clinic?
No, sometimes they may, but not
Okay.
right now. COVID, they did a lot of that.
So we're able to, is my
Yeah.
question.
Outpatient physical therapy program coordinate, we already talked about that piece. Friday, tomorrow, I'm having a meeting with TMH. They're setting up regional meetings with all the rural hospitals in the region, and they're coming tomorrow to talk with me, about some of the things, that how can they partner with the rural hospitals on a stronger basis. Years ago, Lauren Clark, Faison, she used to be the regional TMH liaison. Lauren used to come around to the different hospitals. She used to even come to the governor board meetings, talk about what TMH is doing and how they can strengthen relationships. So I'll be meeting with them in the morning for that.
Is that the precursor to all of this, everybody being in one group to try to pull that money down?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if that's a precursor, but I think before years ago, TMH always had a regional partnership, a regional liaison with the rural hospitals. It's just that within the last couple of years, when Lauren left, when Lauren took this, yeah, hot and cold, yeah, and so they're trying to make.
Remember that 200 million is sitting out there, and they got to figure out how they're going to partner with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So they can get a little bit of that pie.
Yeah.
How's that gonna affect when Florida State takes over?
But it should, the operations piece shouldn't impact anything, because I think operationally, but you never know. In the beginning, it'll always be like that, honeymoon, and then everybody's hands get a little deeper.
Well, you got a big political, in my opinion, you don't have a big political.
Yeah. Beckel's Healthcare, I'm participating in a healthcare podcast on the 29th, July 29th, and I'll be doing it with Becker's. That should be a great opportunity. Just to let you know, the next governing board meeting will be August 27th. If you come here, this room will be locked, more than likely.
Where am I going?
The meeting will be in the Armory.
Okay.
Now, where is
Put it
that?
on my calendar.
The Armory is right,
We'll send you a pin.
right down from, well, it's right down from the hotel, Gibson Inn, right across the road at the Gibson Inn, yeah.
Where is it from there?
Just across the street from People's South.
Yeah, right across from People's South Bank. Have you been to People's South Bank?
Well, remember, I ain't from here.
Yeah, you're not from here, John. So I tell you what, the gas station,
Yeah.
right down the road. Make a left there, you'll run right into it.
All right.
If you get lost, just text me. I'll come pick you
No,
up.
I've been around this city enough. I know where all the stores are.
Look, I'll meet you at Izzy's, All right, well, that's my report with that. Just remember, August 27th, and we'll make mention of that again. Just another reminder, next Wednesday, we have the pharmacy meeting at 3:00 p.m. in my office. But it'll be through Zoom too, so if you want to jump on through Zoom, you can as well. Not Zoom, but Teams. Yeah, Teams.
I don't know if y'all have thought about this, but the last 2 years, in the month of August, the beaches have been closed because of the water. Are we gonna have that same situation this year? Hopefully not. But does that affect our revenues in the month of August?
Well, I think the revenue is probably going to go down in the month of August anyway because of school, people going back to school, but it'll pick back up Labor Day weekend, I'm thinking. Because schools start, usually when schools start, the tourism's come down a little bit, but then during the Labor Day weekend, it picks back up.
That it? You threw your
Yeah.
report? Okay. Alliant management report, I guess you've already, yeah, on that. The foundation report.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Mr. Berry, the address for the Armory is 66 4th Street.
Got it.
I'll just, that's where our first gala was in 2024. Maybe next year's event will be
Maybe.
there.
We'll
Maybe.
see.
We'll see, I'll talk to Solomon. Hi, everybody, nice to see everybody. Just as I have been doing every meeting this year, just giving you quick updates aligned to our priorities that we outlined at the beginning of the year. I will say that we were honored to be part of the strat session last week, and we'll be revisiting our priorities for Q4 into start of Q1. And we, Foundation, tie our priorities obviously to the strategies of the hospital. So it's really important that we understand where everything nets out. But also get lots of questions from our constituents about what are we focusing on? If I give you $1, where's it gonna go? So it's really appreciated being part of that. Also, shout out to Christy, I don't know why I'm out of breath, sorry,
for just being a really good partner. We try to dovetail everything that we do with the strategies for the promotional strategies for the hospital. So, and I often talk about hospital. We mean hospital and the clinics, of course. So, lots of great stuff happening. So, just quick update, and then with our first priority, which is about supporting the growing clinics and the main campus. Just a reminder, right, last month, Reflecting Garden and Hospice Suite, as Christy said, that garnered a lot of earned media, et cetera, so really great. We made an investment there, which already seems to be garnering interest and support from the community, so that's wonderful. In progress, we have ongoing discussions with one of our donors who's interested in helping us through a contact they have with Stryker, replacing some patient beds. So I don't have an update on that yet, unfortunately. As you know, we contributed to putting new clinic exam bed in the clinic, and we're also exploring how can we continue to improve the customer experience there aesthetically. So I talked with Susie just earlier this week about maybe there's some artwork that we can do or other things at the clinic. So more to come there. Our big fundraising push, of course, is around supporting other advancements at the hospital, right? The DEXA training, et cetera. Continuing to make headway and identify new donors who are interested in making recurring donations to the hospital, et cetera. No real hard updates at the moment. We are about to mobilize, call to action for everyone in the room. We are about to mobilize a panel of volunteers to go out into the community. So not just here in Appalachia, but across the entire county. We're looking for donations for our silent auction. We're looking for people who are interested to help us plan and facilitate the event that's in November. That is our biggest fundraising event all year. So if you're interested in getting involved, you know any businesses that might be willing to make a donation to the silent auction or be a sponsor of the event, please send them my way. Following last month's meeting, I did send y'all a document with the QR code for the event. If you don't have that, I'll just send it out again. Mr. Barry, I will tell you that your emails, when I include you on emails, I get this, something comes back saying you need to validate that I'm in your valid recipient list. So if there's a different email address I should use, or if I should text you or something, please let me know.
Well, it sounds like to me that you're showing up in
your spam,
group,
yeah.
and I check the spam every day.
Okay.
And I haven't seen anything.
Okay, okay. Well, I haven't sent anything in about 2 weeks, but I always get that back and then I respond.
That's what it is, because you're not in my.
Well, let's
I
fix,
get the
let's,
same
thing, Mr. Berry.
You do?
Yes, every time I email you, I get the same thing.
So maybe we can fix-
This way after the meeting, I don't want to get in the weeds, but we'll do it after the meeting.
okay, so Crystal or I will
think you
track you
understand.
down. We need to be, this is a weed we want to get into, right? We want to make sure that you have all the information you need to support. And then I will also just, for longer range planning, have some ongoing discussions about a potential additional event fundraiser next year, talking with some folks at Panhandle Players who are very excited
About the Womenless Beauty pageant.
Womenless pageant, so more to
I
come.
can't wait to see your voice in a dress. Royce.
Me.
So more to follow on that. So we're not going to add too many
You
more.
run as a school board or something?
No, oh gosh, no.
I want to be a politician.
That's all right.
But
We're
you
not going to
make a
add
beautiful
too many
woman.
additional big events, but we are looking for ways to just extend our interaction with the community. And then I think that's really it. So my headline.
What's the date of the gala?
Saturday, November 14th.
November 13th.
14th.
It's a Saturday
14th.
night.
Which I'm glad it's on a Saturday this time.
Me too.
I'm
That
glad it's on a
was,
Saturday.
that's
And
how
you have
we.
the best band in the world playing.
I know, we do. So thank you to everyone on the board who's already bought their tickets and made some donations and some silent auction donations. We are looking for, any way you can help, and certainly hope to see you all there.
Okay.
Any questions?
Anybody? Great job.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Johnny, you got any pharmacy update? I think we've talked about
We
it.
already talked to them.
Okay. Okay, anybody got anything else?
Well, you didn't go over the finance committee, huh?
The what?
You missed my finance
Oh, I'm
subcommittee.
sorry, I
report.
missed it. I thought you were done talking about it. Go ahead, I'm
Get
sorry.
in the weeds.
I got nothing to say. Well, we did, with Jason, help me go through the budget this week, and so thank you, Jason, for walking me through how that's created, and it gave me a better update on where we were for that meeting that we stepped into with the BOCC, and that was great. I thought Mr. Walker was going to leave me stranded there with them all alone. He came a little late. But we got through it anyway, and it was good. I did meet with Erin Griffith of the county finance and grant writer. She was great, gave me a nice big sheet to look at for the hospital fund, and I'm still working my way through it, and maybe smarter minds than me can help me figure out exactly how to calculate the burn rate on this thing, because my concern, as with most people, is how much EMS is going to draw from this and leave us with less money at the end of the day to build our new ER. So I think it's of importance that we really look at this closely, with their budget jumping up to $2.2 million from what it was before, and us as a hospital financing a good portion of their costs, about half in prior years, how that's going to draw down the fund. And I know that there is an interest portion of this fund, looks like about 3.7% interest rate, and if I did my numbers correctly, looks like maybe they're taking out about 5% with the new EMS draw. So there is a downward slide, shall we say, for that fund, which makes it more imperative that we move forward with our plans to erect the ER. So that's part of what we talked about. I just wanted to let you know what our conversation was with Erin Griffith, that I said I was going to go meet her. Other than that, most of the other expenses that we went through on the payables were fine. Obviously, we've scrubbed out a lot of the EMS costs at this point, which are good for us. Obviously, Mr. Bolin, the good and bad come together. We're not getting the revenue, but we're also not paying the expense. So that's the good and the bad. But and it's going to be more difficult looking at comparative numbers moving forward until we get to the end of the day on that. But that's all I have to say.
So are you saying we're not paying expenses, meaning that we're not paying them physically out of the hospital, but the EMS expenses, if the county's paying for them, it's still coming out of the hospital fund?
Right.
Is that what we're saying?
What I'm saying is that the hospital operating fund is not paying for EMS moving forward after June, but again, they are taking their money from the trust fund for their operations, and their budget was a little over 2.2 million.
So do we have an analysis as to what that effect is going to be on the capital improvement side of the equation?
Well, I have the form here that they provided to us, but you do have to go back and calculate some things to figure out exactly what that burn looks like. But again, they're pulling in about almost 3.5. Well, in 2024, 2025, they pulled in almost $3.5 million. Okay, part of that goes to us, and part of that was going to EMS at the time. And at that time, they were only taking $764,000 out, and we were paying the other $700,000 out of our operating expenses.
So when you say pulled out, what do you mean by that?
Transferred money from that fund to their operations.
Transferred out of the hospital hospital fund?
At a,
It's not a
well,
hospital fund.
yeah, it's out
I
of
don't
the,
mean to be stupid, but this is
Out of the
such a
trust fund.
critical
it is.
piece of our future.
Yes, it is.
When they pay for EMS, when the county pays for EMS, do they charge the hospital fund for it?
Well, this is all new because it's starting June. I mean, the transfer of operations ended in June. So therefore, this is new as far as how much they're going to be pulling out. But their budget that they presented to the BOCC was 2.2 plus.
So let me just help you all out here. I'm just help you out. Maybe turn down the AC a little bit to get a little cold in here too. So, but let me just help you out. All right. So the capital outlay, well, the 1 cent sales tax. You know, that's the hospital fund. So you have one part of it is the operations part. Then you have one part what we call the capital outlay part. Okay. So when a penny comes in, 50% goes to hospital operations, 50% goes over the capital outlay part. Now, EMS is getting funded now out of the capital outlay part of the trust fund. You know,
And so are we.
and so are we. You know, we're
So
getting,
when they get funded out of the capital outlay side, they're affecting the future funding of a hospital.
more than
That's what I'm
likely.
driving for.
Yeah, more than likely, because that, you know, that, it depends how much money, you know, if the money goes down, then you don't have enough to do what you want on that side, you know, of the capital outlay funds, yeah. So if you got $100 in there for a new home, a new hospital, quote, $100, and 70% or 50% of the dollars are getting taken out, 70% of that, then you only got 30% to spend, yeah.
Can I correct something here?
Yeah.
There is no 50% rule. That's been put into people's minds. There is nothing on the books that says 50%.
That was arbitrary. That was an arbitrary
That's
decision
exactly
years ago
right.
the county made. I mean, it was 50/50.
So, what I'm concerned about, and I think all of us are, is we've been having a certain amount of money that's going towards so-called capital outlay side that was going to use to build the emergency room and also that was to build. And now if that starts getting eroded, do we know how much of the erosion it's going to be? Because you can't go out and start thinking about financing in long term or trying to get any bonds or anything like that unless you know for a fact you're going to have a revenue stream of a certain amount.
Well, if you look at now, for example, so what you'll do, if you start from scratch right now, you got 3.2 million going into the capital outlay fund. If EMS needs 2.3, then you just subtract that 2.3 from the 3.2. That's gonna give you what you're gonna have left. You know.
Provided they don't go up in their
Yeah.
side of the equation. And then I guess we should probably ask the county, what controls are you've got on that?
I kind of just did.
Yeah, because.
I hate to get into this.
No,
discussion now.
because we don't have anything on that side of the trust fund, we don't control it, we don't monitor that. You know, now what we've been doing for years, not spending anything out of this as much, that's why we've been getting kind of grants, because we was trying to save that for a new facility or a modular facility, something there that we can pay for. But we don't have any control of managing that side of the trust fund. You know, we just manage the operations side of the trust fund, but we still have to be diligent in looking at that side, because that's the side that we were going to use to do some type of facility
Well, that's
at
what we
the hospital.
promised to
Well,
fund.
it's all a little bit more complicated than that, because obviously their budget's a little over 2.2, but how much revenue are they generating within their program that will offset whatever it is their budget is? And their budget deficit is gonna come to the program. But then on the other side, the program is generating interest income. So, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to figure out what that burn rate is. That's what I'm saying. It's a little more complicated than just that.
And where is that money that they're receiving for their services, what they do collect, coming back to?
Well, it's coming back to their operating expense, but whatever their shortfall is obviously being paid for out of that fund, just like our shortfall out of our operations is being paid for out of that fund, right?
And I think that's the number we ought, what is the shortfall gonna be?
Yeah, because they looking to get net revenue, EMS, $735,000. So that's what they looking to bring in as net
much?
revenue.
How much?
735,000 net patient revenue, although, you know, they looking to bill 1.3, but you only gonna collect 45% of that, 46% of that 1.3, so $735,000, that's what they looking to collect in as revenue. So that'll help offset some of the stuff they may take out of their budget.
Providing it goes back into the fund.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty well got to.
I'm confused, but that's okay.
Well, you're a
Okay.
financial person, so you know.
Has anybody got anything?
You already know,
else?
John. You already know the answers. You already know the answers before you ask to answer questions, okay?
Anything else? This meeting is adjourned, and we're gonna take up an executive session on IT policies
You're gonna take a
in
break?
5 minutes, yeah.